back to Dreamworks Dungeons and Dragons. I am your dungeon master, August Schmid, and with me, as always, are the wonderful members of our party. We have, in no particular order, just based on what it looks like on my screen, Alicia playing Jim Lake Jr., Braxton playing RJ the Raccoon, Elle playing Puss in Boots, and Shane as Megamind. We do have other party members, but they have work obligations that will cause them to not be in the party for about anywhere between 7 to 8 sessions. And so we love Lincoln, but we don't need you. We're fine. Who needs Jack Frost? Who wants? Oh, yeah. He has a pet dragon. It's kind of cool. Last we saw you all traveling through the Blackforest, the moon has turned red, and there's a lot of curiosity as to what does that mean and what's about to happen. Plans were made, and Gromit, the Companion of Walls, kind of gave you all a bit of a cryptic, muted message that apparently Gromit knows some sort of mage figure that lives far off to the east in that frozen area past the woods. With this idea of it's somewhere close, you wouldn't have to worry about crossing the Alps either through the mountains or down the roads to Syracuse. You all headed off and began traveling at night, making it easier for a lot of the party, actually, who can then do a lot of stuff at night so that they're not more detrimented in the day. Traveling through, of course, you all met with some of your patrons or other things of interest during these nightmarish dreams that occurred. And before too long, as you were traveling, you were attacked by these strange magical creatures that are known as Siminoids, what we think of strange augmented ape-like creatures that attacked you in anger. But you were able to successfully take out the leader of this pack as well as the others and remain safe. Yes, Megamind, question. Megamind, yeah. Sorry. Excellent. Uh, Suddenly, yeah. No worries. I will. I'll try to always make sure you guys know. I'm running it's something I like doing where we use both XP and milestone. So it's that, like, when we hit really good, like, story beats, yeah, there's a level up because you guys do a bunch of cool stuff. But I also try to keep track of, like, what you guys are able to accomplish through puzzles and combat, just because sometimes that is still a really good indication of, oh yeah, there's been a couple. Right now, actually, with the combats we've had, we're about midway until your level up. It's been some good combats, but a lot of those, like, more preliminary, like, oh yeah, testing the waters of our abilities. So yeah, no, excellent question though. Thank you so much. Like, no? Uh, no. This raccoon ape bear hybrid that just, yeah. I think if you do that, my character's emotional plot arc is becoming this dark creature. Yeah, if that happens as a DM, I think I'm legally supposed to take away a level. It's somewhere in the DMG about that, like, punish them by, like, making... Yeah, it's like, it's labeled under atrocities to God, and it just says, don't. Yeah, right? Anywho. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Uh, it, yeah, no, we can. Oh, I've heard all the arguments about those spells. Hey, rules as written states that creatures aren't containers. Creatures are creatures. That's kind of the like only real definitive argument here. No. um, you're good. As you guys have finished up this battle, uh, I will say you were traveling pretty hard throughout the night. Um, Currently, we're sitting at about like from where you are in the Black Forest to like when you would like exit that far eastern side. It's looking to be about another 4 to 5 days journey. So you could take like a long rest for the rest of this night throughout the next day, and probably be fine. It's not like there's any real time limits right now. There's nothing crazy. If you want to, though, you could just start pressing through and be like, like, yeah, that fight was a lot. Let's just go for it. Let's just hit the road, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing a for sure. Yeah, I think there's enough people between hit points and spells. It's that like, oh yeah, long rest would be helpful. In which case, you guys can go ahead, take a long rest. Before we, oh, what was that? Mm-hmm. Uh, what that's gonna happen is, you'd be taking to if you long rest successfully now, you'd be able to get rid of one on this long rest. I will say though, with the battle we just had, I will need another round of Constitution saving throws from the party, as a lot of dangerous stuff has happened before the long rest will officially kick it into high gear. We're still at like very low DCs, I will say. Nothing terrible has happened yet. Net, excellent. And ooh, Jim with a 19, so that's two 22s. Good stuff right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no. And Megamind, that is 6. Do you have any other modifiers though to your con save? You have 2. Excellent. Um, Solid stuff. So it looks like the only person that failed the check was RJ. I know. I know. It's wild. Like I don't ever like try to do this. It just happens. Um on purpose. Uh what I would say is, oh, you're good. I was able to read your lips. Yeah, so that's yeah, so Megamind got an 8, beats the DC. Um for Megamind, Puss in Boots, and RJ, or excuse me, and Jim, the three of you will be able to take a long rest, which will refill your hit points, refill your spell slots. And for you, Jim, that will bring you to only 1 point of exhaustion. Doing pretty good. Uh, RJ, as you go to sleep this night, your mind is plagued with visions of these Seminoids, the giant ape bear things that lumber out at you, turning into familiar ursine forms that seem to grab at you, and it's just a constant night of night terrors where you feel everything closing on you. It becomes hard to breathe. RJ, you wake up and have not yet gained the benefits of a long rest. You take no points of exhaustion yet, and you can take a short rest if you want to take like other abilities or points back, but a nightmare has kept you awake this evening. Yeah. You guys are in a really good place though, because at this point you can do kind of what I try to do in this moment, a bit of almost quote unquote fast traveling, where we can make a group survival check to move across the Black Forest, where it would give you a couple long rests without the need for checks if we're successful. Meaning, Jim, you would be able to get rid of your next point of exhaustion. RJ, you get your spell slots back. We just need a group survival check to succeed on that. It's currently a DC 12. Indeed. 21. Excellent, Megamind. Jim, solid 10. So we're looking about even. 25 for RJ. And a 20 for Puss in Boots. That gives a party majority. And Jim, still with the 10. That's not below 5 on that DC check 12. You guys are able to move very well. You're starting to get that rhythm of, okay, sleep throughout the day, a little before sundown, we get up, we move quietly. If it gets too quiet, we hunker down. If it feels normal, we speed up. And during this time, Jim, you will be able to get rid of your point of exhaustion, taking some time to just rest during these days. And RJ, you will now get the official benefit of a long rest, which might have been detrimental if the party hadn't succeeded the survival check. Excellent. As you all travel through the Black Forest, ice and snow set in on your way heavy. The Black Forest didn't have a lot of snow. It was a rather dry winter up here, but over these few days, snow falls more and more heavily. Nights are getting colder. The campfires you make that during those morning hours before you go to bed get a little bit bigger, and you huddle a little bit closer as everything becomes more icy. As you approach, it has now been about 4 days journey. So we're looking about the 21st of this like start of the year month. As you approach, the woods are becoming more and more sparse. You're seeing that you're about to enter what we would know as the beginnings of the frozen waste. This barren tundra, this Arctic desert that just stretches on, intermittent with tribes of some more hardier races, the occasional monster that ventures out here, but a vastly different climate and topographical nature than the woods were. Before you make it too long to the end of the woods, you guys would all be able to notice that Jack Frost has something on his mind. The past couple days, you've had chances to start talking to each other, kind of, that get to know each other that we had a little bit in the taverns. But Jack has gotten very quiet and doesn't seem as open as he was before, as if he has something that he's been thinking about. On to the... Yeah, Jack, like, looks at you just very confused. Just, listen. What? Excuse me? This is not romantic, and it's a boy if you were curious. But again, it's not a romantic boy. Listen, I had a dream the other night about this weird dude from my past. No, okay, I'm not dreaming about him romantically. It's just something that's happened. Listen, I can't explain a lot. There's something I need to go try to find out of some people I know, which might be dangerous based on what I saw. I don't want to just leave you guys in the lurch, especially because we've had that vision, but here, and he's going to pull out, you see he pulls out this tiny little globe that almost look like ice, except you can tell it has that beautiful crystalline geometric patterns that kind of etch its way around as if a snow globe was made out of a frost bubble. He pulls this kind of bubble out that has a bit of swirling ice inside. I can't stay for now. I need to go check out some stuff, but I want to be able to find you guys. We need to get more information. Take this ice bauble. If you break it willingly, it will send off a bit of winter magic, and I should be able to find you from there. And don't worry, it can't just break accidentally. It has my magic with it. Just kind of rolling in. If you've ever put like marbles in Pringles, yeah, just that like. For sure, though. Actually, it's a pretty safe place to put in. You see, though, Jack looks at you guys. I wish you all the best. I hope that we meet soon. I better go. And you see he turns as, instead of heading out east towards the edge of the woods like you guys are heading, he's going to turn north and kind of start heading up into the ice and rock, more towards the coastline area. As you guys are now close, it is the dusk or the sunset on the 21st day of this month. All of you would see light has begun dappling through the sunset behind you, streaking golden amber rays across the snow as the six of you, Wallace and Grum are here, just a little NPC right now, exit the Blackforest and see the expansive frozen waste in front of you. Would everyone be so kind as to make me a perception check as we enter into this new area? I'll give you a bit of a choice with this, RJ. I like giving Nat 13s as a bit of a player choice. There's two kind of things you could be looking for here. Would you more be inclined to look at like the landscape itself, look for like any geographical features, areas, kind of like as you look out the waste, or would you be more looking for beings or like, settlements, shall we say, clues as to settlements or life out here as you guys start traveling? It looked like Gromit drew some sort of tower. Like, back when you guys were still in the city of Eastern, Gromit had kind of sketched out a tower with a stick figure kind of looking person. So it looks like some person and a tower you're looking for. For structure. Uh, with then that RJ 19 and Puss in Boots 21, you both look around. The Frozen Waste does not have any set roads. Now, thankfully, you already haven't been on, shall we call it, official roads. It's not like this is going to slow you down. But you can tell that not a lot of creatures pass this way, even those that maybe inhabit this area of the Frozen Waste. What you both would be able to see, though, in terms of this, there are enough of tracks, something that looks like a group of individuals, maybe numbering 10 to 15. It's kind of tough on those checks, that we're heading about this east by northeast way that you are. Just kind of some grouping of medium-sized creatures. Megamind and Jim on the 13-3, you guys don't find these tracks immediately, more because both of you are probably stopped. The Frozen Waste is expansive. It's hard to tell when you're in the woods. It's always very close. It's even sometimes prone for people with claustrophobia, with a lot of trees around you at once. But the Frozen Waste is now truly barren. It's something where it would be very hard for anything to sneak up on you, but also vice versa. For like Jim, in that understanding of, oh, sometimes with sunset I can get away with hiding in the trees, but especially right now, like, you're gonna want to have your hood up in this very open area. Very anti-troll, if we're being completely honest. What I would then ask the party, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to try to keep your travel pace? Do you want to, like, double time it, like maybe lose out on the options of stealth to just go fast? Or would you rather go maybe a bit quarter speed so that you could approach more stealthily? Looking at spells, Puss in Boots saying that maybe stealth might be better right now. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those spells that you have to, like, start upcasting to get multiple people, and at that point it's like, well, I might as well till I get haste or something useful. It's a rough one. Or rough for groups, I should say. Individually, it's really nice. Gotcha. It's a smart one. Um, you start double timing it across the frozen wastes. As you move, every couple of hours, you do see small, like, Arctic hares and foxes. Even some of these creatures that look like ice snakes that seem a little more reptilian, that kind of like burrow through the ground in a way. But nothing seems to ever approach the party, nor does anything look hostile. Uh, you'll be able to travel a further about 2 days in this manner, really making good time, really cutting down the journey. And on the evening of the 23rd, you will see out far across the distance, maybe 7 to 8 miles in this kind of open plain, a lone tower juts out of the ice and frost. It seems to be made in a very ancient Gothic pattern with those kind of high archways, simple stone parapets all the way around. But interestingly enough, it does seem a bit arcane in nature, as large stalagmites of ice are jutting out of the frozen waste, almost as if it was supporting the tower up all across its 360-degree points. the tower is the first thing all of you will see. And on the passive perceptions of RJ and Megamind, you both will be able to see this passively. About a quarter mile out from the tower, just enough in view, there seems to be an encampment of sorts. Maybe 6 to 7 large tents. Fires are going as the night has drawn near, and so illuminated against the tower are these tents as some things are here. For sure. RJ, yeah, go ahead, give me a stealth check if you'd be so kind. Make a 19. Yeah. I'm going to make a quick check then. Yep, you are good. That was a rolled 4. RJ, you run up, and as you're nearing this camp, you see large humanoids that seem to have this very, like, icy blue skin, hair that still is very, like, dark and braided with, like, ice and white bands of cloth. And as you're looking in, because are these creatures humanoid? Are they intelligent? What's going on? You feel your foot kind of slip against the ice and snow here. It kind of gives way as a bit of rock and ice tumble down towards the camp, but you are fast enough. You cast Pass Without a Trace as one of the figures turns from the snow, looks up, and you can see reflected in the light what seem to be almost orcs. Different than what we know. They have, again, this light bluish skin, but still very protruding lower canine teeth, eyes that are piercing white that kind of scan the snow and around, but they do not see you. And so these orcs go back to their camp. Now, RJ, I would ask, do you speak either orc or giant? So you will not be able to understand the conversations that are being held, but you would be able to kind of... Yes. They don't seem to have any animals with them. It seems to be, as far as you can tell, about 14 of these orcs. You're totally fine. The orcs are seeing here... Passive insight, you're kind of seeing the orcs seem pissed. They're not angry, they're not riled up, but they don't look to be in a good mood as they're camped here near the base of this large tower. After some time, it looks like the majority head off into these tents, while 2 of them stay out in the firelight and begin their watch of the night. And it's about this time, you know, you have maybe a good 5 to 10 minutes before your Pass Without a Trace ends. Now, you're able to head back. Go ahead and you can kind of tell the party what you saw. Yeah. Yep. Because, Jim, it's that natural. Even before you became a half-troll, it's one of those kind of perks, I guess, that came with being the champion. You speak orc. Gromit kind of looks, as you say, is the wizard, and you watch Gromit go, moves his hand kind of back and forth in that like seesaw manner, and just kind of like even a squint to Gromit's side. You think it's like Gromit would probably be like, possibly it's a wizard. Couldn't say it for sure. Excellent. Does anyone else want to go, either like in person or stealthily? Yeah, it's true. But you are both blue. It's helpful. Um, awesome. Yeah, right. I mean, it's like at least RJ has passed without a trace. It's like, yeah, as a cat, you're a little obvious. Um, uh, okay. Um, Jim and Megamind, you head off RJ close behind. Puss kind of leading up the trail, just not getting close. Within a few minutes, you are approaching the firelight. The two figures that RJ informed you that were kind of keeping watch uh, will notice the approach of you two. You watch, they don't draw any weapons, but you do see they both stand and kind of cross their arms as Jim and Megamind appear. Uh, at, yeah. Yes, RJ, you can give a stealth check. Puss, you're far enough back. You don't have to give one. It's just that, like, again, not getting close. Um, that's really good. A 24. RJ, you kind of nuzzle down into the snow. Very fox-like. You know, that very, like, make your own little icy foxhole just to keep watch. Um, Megamind and Jim, when you guys are about 60 feet out, you see the larger of the two orcs, it seems more masculine, kind of raises a hand and is going to shout over in orc, "Halt! Who goes there?" The two orcs kind of look at each other, these two kind of male orcs. The other one speaks up. "Who are you? How'd you get so far out here in the waste?" "All right. What about the big head over there?" Go ahead and give me a deception check. It's only DC 10. Um, I would say, Megamind, if you want to give a bardic inspiration, I think that's what I'd allow in this moment. Because a true help action at this point would then be too obvious of like, yeah, cousins. Like, it would just look a little awkward. But a silent, just that bardic inspiration of take a d6. uh, yeah. That's a 5. Excellent, Jim. On that 12, you see the orcs kind of then just... The smaller of the two gives that kind of like half nod. Becca's, "All right, oh, come over here by the fire. We're not going to eat you then yet." Uh, as you both approach, you see the two orcs are gonna kind of invite you down, and it is that nice, like, oh yeah, fire is nice, especially this time of night. The two orcs kind of look at each other. I'm Vitgut, and you see the larger of the two just kind of points himself. He goes, "That's Brugig. What brings you out here to the tower?" You see that Brugig is gonna speak up. Put their names in the chat, of course, just so that we always have that if people are curious. Brugig kind of speaks out. He goes, "Right, it's the wizard's tower. It's a bit of an old piece of garbage that lives here, and I don't know, he pays us sometimes to do stuff for him. He never leaves, but he never paid us for the last job, and now the whole world's gone to crap. I mean, the bloody moon and all these beasts now in the frozen waste. It's a lot, and we haven't got any pay, haven't got any food." Yeah, oh, you see Vidgard goes like, "Right, have you ever found yourself encountering some of the great ice beasts that lurk below the surface?" "Yeah, let me tell you, if you ever hear the sound of breaking glass, it's too late." You see Vidgard just kind of like nods solemnly, and Brugig takes over. "Yeah, well, we'll just wait and see if it gets paid, but we sent a messenger and no answer. Well, what are you two doing, though? Yeah, what's your names?" Jim Megamind. Alright. You see Vidga kind of like, "That's what I'm saying. I think when they die, we get their stuff. We just take it. That's the law of the land." You see Brugig. "No, we have to decide as a tribe. We've been arguing about this all night. Half of us think we should just storm in, but the other half say, no, that's a bad idea. You don't just invade a wizard's tower. That's how you get your head blown off, or rats spawning inside your butt." Yeah. Oh, you said friends. How many friends you got? I thought it was just the two of you. Right, yeah. Get shit. Victor goes, "Oh, hell yeah, food." He immediately slings a big old great axe. Puss from like 500 yards back, paws up. Don't attack me either. You see Brugig. Oh, you're one of those weird ones. Use the utensils. Listen, all I'm saying is the Great Mother Earth gave us these. And he holds up. You realize he only has 8 fingers, as the middle finger on his left hand and the pinky on his right have been like ripped off in years past and are just stumps. Mother Earth gave us these for a reason. And he kind of like pulls out a bunch of just like jerky from a bag, just kind of shoves his face. As Brugig does it, Victor kind of, "Alright, you got a weird party, a couple of... you're not orcs, are you?" "Right, yeah. But I mean, you look like an orc. You've got most of the stuff, but you just got a big head." "Say no more. Listen, if you want to go try your luck with abandoned Wizard's Tower, be my guest. Just know at first light we're coming in and we'll take what we think is necessary. I mean, we need to get paid one way or the other. Right. Well, good luck then. You and your small mammals. Kind of like gives Megamind and Jim just that like appreciative nod and just a very weird look at RJ and Puss. Just that like, what are you things? But you speak with the orcs, and they're gonna let you pass on through to the tower. It's the way. Yep. Make sure Puss is there. Get RJ. You guys pass on. As you pass by Vikug and Brugig, they kind of give that like 2-finger salute. You see Brugig gives a 1-finger salute and a nub. You know, just that like. As you guys are able to pass and continue on towards the tower. As you have made it now within this 80 to 70 foot distance, the tower stretches upwards for many, many yards. Almost to the point you would wonder if it's that, like, this seems almost unscalable. It just feels so tall. But what really catches all your eye is the stonework here. As each of these stones have been laid in a brick-type pattern, one after the other, overlapping as the rows go up. But unlike normal stonework, where then a lot of it can be eroded or some of the grouting that was put in, it seems to be completely flush with all the stones, making this eerie, naturally perfect circle of the tower that stretches many, many feet in both directions. The stone itself also seems to be made of a black, glassy consistency, which doesn't add up, though, because when you saw this at dusk, when the sunlight was still out, the tower is completely non-reflective. Even in the snow, this black tower didn't stand out at all until you came closer, once again possibly due to its arcane nature. As you as the party enter enter towards the tower, what would you guys like to do? Is there any checks that people want to make? Or is there things that people just kind of want to start doing, if that makes sense? Nothing that seems... Nothing seems readily available, but you could make me an investigation check to see what you can find in terms of an entrance. I will say this, Megamind, you start looking around, there is no door down here. And it's something that you think when you and Jim were talking with the orcs, they said they sent a messenger, but you realize you never actually asked them how they communicated or what messenger they sent. And so it's that odd, like, a 7's not bad because normally there should be doors or entrances or, yes. I was actually going to say it's flat because Megamind, you are exactly right in your thinking. it's got to be some sort of secret entrance. And so that's why the natural like advantage and disadvantage of I know what to look for but it is hidden cancel out. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Mm. Gotcha. Something higher up. Gotcha. Especially for like RJ and Puss, it's that like we're smaller creatures. It would help. Um, you send the eagle up, RJ. Megamind, you have just about then finished your slow approach around the tower, keeping a single hand. As you make it to about that area where you know you've reached like a full circumference because you once again see your party, your passive shows you, Megamind, not only did you not feel anything, you look, there are no imprints in the snow from where you just walked. It's that you know you just walked around, and yet it looks like you just came from one side. RJ, after a few minutes, the eagle flies back down and kind of like half does that bird shake of the head. It doesn't seem like your eagle found anything. Nothing to denote any irregularity in the tower. In fact, it really does seem like it's this solid piece of stone, only given away by the seams of brick like stone that run around in this 3 by 4 foot areas. Mm-hmm. For sure. RJ, you cast Mold Earth. The stone in front of you, like melting butter, kind of drips away as you make this 5 by 5 hole. Foom, foom, foom. The tower opens up, and you see that indeed the walls were only about 3 feet thick. I mean, 3 feet thick, though, of stone is still terrifying. But as you do so, RJ, all of you can kind of see looking in. It's as if you have just opened up a room with absolutely no lights on. And so the natural light of the snow and the environment kind of cast subtly inward. After but a second of this, you watch the stone slowly starts dripping, icicle-esque, forming down and around on the tower until it naturally forms itself into a wall again. If you're quick, you can make it in. Gotcha. You send the bird in. As the bird flies in, Let's see. Can your bird make me a quick dexterity saving throw? It should have a +2 if I remember eagle stats off the top of my head. Right. Because this is not a true beast. It's a summon. Yeah. A 5. That's gonna hurt. You all watch the eagle flies into this dark hole. Poof, an eruption of fire occurs, kind of singeing your eyebrows as you all take a step back. The eagle takes 37 points of fire damage and is no more. Only. Now that favorite fearless hero, yeah, Puss, do you want to go first? I should say, yeah, what's the marching order as we walk into this tower? Puss in Boots, you go first. Would anyone like to go second, or is it more that natural kind of how we're all lined up? Big, just half troll orc. Jim, okay. Megamind kind of bring up that rear. All of you walk in, and as the stone behind you drips, again, icicling down, making first bars, and growing, solidifying back into stone, the room is now in complete darkness. Now I will ask, which of the party has dark vision currently? All right, we've got... Yeah, we'll double check that. I think both RJ and Puss in Boots have it naturally, being these very nocturnal creatures. Megamind, do you have dark vision currently? Should be under your features on D&D Beyond. Oh, already. That's a good majority right now. Megamind, you are just caught off guard as everything just becomes black. For the rest of you, the darkness takes hold, and as the natural dark vision in your eyes kind of blink and you look around, the room you were in seems to be one taken out of an old manuscript of libraries. It is filled with ancient tomes and scrolls, stone tablets, clay and chalkboard. You see that whereas for every 5 leather-bound books, there's 10 different just loose leaf papers. As you enter in, kind of blinking, all of you can see, though, while this room is full of highly flammable objects, there was, just a few moments ago, a large fireball. But the room seems completely untouched. Go for it, Puss in Boots. Yeah, make me an investigation check. Good stuff. Alrighty. RJ, 15. We'll resolve that while Puss is loading. On a 15, RJ, a lot of these books here seem truly worthwhile. It's that, like, you are seeing names of things that, like, don't exist anymore. Books and tomes called The Properties of Lightning and the Imbuement of Fire, Volume 5, written by Bartholomew. Like, all these, like, tomes that you're like, yeah, this would sell anywhere just because it's truly just, like, yeah. was gone. Puss in Boots, on the 2, your mind is going to, well, if it's a wizard, I guess they can do what they want. Like, magic fireball kicks off in their room and they just kind of say, don't hurt my stuff. It'd be wild, though. It's just, you're not sure. Something doesn't feel right, Puss. That very feline instinct of something's off here. Jim, yeah, you run your hand kind of on one of these quick scrolls on the table. Your hand touches. It feels that very tactile old parchment, very brittle, crackling under your fingertips. Everything in here, not at all. As that happens, after a moment, all of you would notice there are two key things in this room. There is a ladder that seems to stretch upward. It was hard to notice because, again, there's some of those like natural library ladders that kind of line the walls. One of these ladders, though, goes all the way up into the ceiling above you, into this kind of wooden floor. But you also notice, stacked behind one of these tables laden with books and scripture, that a big old staircase descends down from where you're at. The Blue Man Group. Yeah, I like it. I was gonna say, yeah, no, Gromit goes with the animals, and Wallace Wallace looks like a Blue Man Group. Okay, paint Wallace blue. He's a Blue Man Group guy. Like, let's be real. That little hop, 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 hop. You know, paw over paw over paw. Um, yeah, we will watch. Let's go ahead. Let's make some rolls. That is a 7 and a natural 1. We will begin first with our animal friends. Puss in Boots, RJ, and Gromit. All of you ascend up this quick wooden ladder, little metal rivetings kind of holding it all in place, and reach a trapdoor high up in this room that does not seem to be locked, but as you open it, you feel almost a change in temperature for a little bit colder. Entering up here, all of you having dark vision are able to see that stepping out onto this little landing, the room here now seems much more open, possibly due to the lack of the books, but you notice that there are large chalk drawings on the floors, circles within circles with runes, pentagrams, star formations that crisscross and overlap in Venn diagrams that rotate around to look almost like the inner clockwork gears. As you enter in, Gromit kind of leading behind, kind of closing the door. As the trapdoor closes, each of these little circles glow. You notice that each one seems to have their own dedicated color. A few of them become green, one pink, one red, one blue. But in the places they overlap, the colors start to blend and become orange, purples, and even those secondary become tertiary colors as they mix. That the room is not bright, but is now this dim lighting of a more rainbowish psychedelic color field. the room's still circular, like the one you left. So it still feels like, okay, we're still inside the tower. Go ahead, Puss in Boots, you can make me an investigation check, and then you can repeat your Arcana check from earlier. For sure. Yeah, go for it. Puss, that was a 1 for your investigation. You think you can redo the Arcana. I will give you first, Puss in Boots, on the 1. Everything in here is a puzzle, and if you touch even the wrong circle, you're going to die by fireball, just like that bird. You see Gromit kind of like cocks an eyebrow and just goes, I'll make a roll for Gromit. As Puss, you make an Arcana check, a 3. This is a terrifying wizard's tower. So 6. RJ, on a 17, you do notice far up on the ceiling there is a rune circle that is not glowing. It is actually what seems to be in this very grayish black chalk line around at the top of this room, maybe 20-25 feet high, as all the rest of the colors in here seem to have some sort of light brilliance. The gray outline on the ceiling is completely neutral. Up, only about 30 feet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like each circle has its own color, but where they overlap with other circles, their colors start bleeding to form those secondary and tertiary colors. There's a couple that like are so interspersed. I'll say on a 17, you notice like a grouping of 4 that have their lines crossing at one point and that are forming this very muddled, darker color at that point. Maybe like what we would call a purplish brown. No. Yeah, Puss just like full dives in the way. RJ, though, you touch one of the circles, nothing seems to happen. You touch one that was a green, and it stays green. Some of the like astronomical patterns of stars that are kind of like dappled inside of it just glow. Nothing really changes. Yeah, you would be able to see. There's about 2 other circles in this room that are green. One of them might be in that like it's about 8 feet away. The other one feels like it's opposite side of the room from you. Nothing. There's no ladders or stonework in here. It seems like it's just up there right now. kind of clocking off of the walls and ceiling. It hits. Nothing seems to change though. Even as you notice the kind of this old golf ball rolls in through a couple of circles and nothing goes off, nothing changes. Currently no. RJ, you start touching colors, and a few minutes go by of like blue, red, orange, purple, yellow, and as you touch these colors, nothing seems to change. Like Puss, you're kind of watching closely. You see, even Gromit has been sitting there, kind of like stroking his like nose, mouth, like. RJ just walks around the room. Nothing triggers, nothing goes off, and in fact, it seems as if nothing's happening at all, with the exception of the circles are glowing. Ooh. RJ, you cast Create Bonfire on one of these kind of red circles. Flame rises. You feel it kind of heat up this space for those few moments. And after a few seconds, you know, your fire starts slowly dying down. And all that's left is ash on the floor. The red circle is completely gone. It's just burned away. The floor is now just kind of ashy. Doesn't seem like in any way detrimental to the construction of the tower. Doesn't feel like it's a weak point now. Just a lot of ash left where was this kind of glowing red circle. Yes, you may. Let it be known that Puss has been like having the worst Arcana checks. Like you had a 3 before, and then a 2 before that. Yeah, right. Like you get that 20, and then it's like, all right, that's too much. That actually is a nat 20. Spoke it into existence. Puss in Boots. You have a lot on your mind. The tower, the circles, your friends somewhere two floors below. Something clicks from that first interaction with the fireball and the books. The books and tomes in there were completely safe. Almost like they weren't even there when the fire went off. You're looking at these circles and you get on a natural 20 almost the easy answer of, well, RJ burned one away. Oh, could we draw our own? Make like a red circle, like kind of copy these things. Maybe we start overlapping, playing around. But the thing is, even as you think of like this could be one of those viable solutions, and then what? And then maybe it reveals a stairway leading upwards. Maybe something else changes. You get the feeling this wizard's tower is not something anyone's supposed to travel through. And that most of the things in here are meant to just deter people. You think back to Megamind on a nat 20 Arcana. When Megamind walked around the tower, there were no footprints for some reason when he came back around. It's as if he never walked behind. So, did he ever walk behind? Or is there some little bit of magic that keeps you from ever truly seeing the backside of this tower? On that nat 20, though, we'll get to how you want to kind of relay that with RJ. We're going to cut downstairs to Jim and Megamind and Wallace. As you guys head down the stone stairs, they seem to wrap for maybe 15, 20 seconds. You know, it's that kind of longer stairway leading you down into a bit of darkness. But after a moment, you are greeted with a stone door. The stone door seems to be a pull from the bottom. It's got like two handles at the bottom of the stairs that looks like it's supposed to be lifted up, almost like to be held above and things to walk in. Lift the door already. You lift the door up, and as you do, you boom, 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 feel that. I'm gonna need an athletics check, Jim, as the door does seem heavier than it first appeared. Athletics. Beating the DC 20 easily. Jim, you and just push all the way up, and the door is open for any of your party that need to move through. As you enter, the room before you seems to be not as dark as the one you just came from with all these books. Everything in here has a strange sort of soft light, and within a moment you both, Megamind and Jim, can look up and see a hanging brazier of fire, the kind of ember soft light emanating around the room. It's hanging from a simple chain, but what strikes you first is as you enter this room seems a tiny bit, shall we say, bigger than the last. It's almost as if it's a little bit wider than it should be, and even the stone on the walls is a bit off-colored. It's not that true black as it was before. I need, though, as you both enter in, to make me perception checks. That is a 10 for Jim. Let's see what Megamind can get. Oh, and I'll roll a quick one for Wallace. Let's give... no, it is dim lighting in here. There is enough of like a emberish torchlight. Dirty 20, very helpful. Megamind, you'll be able to notice in the center of this room, there is a pool of water stretching out almost as far up to where you just walked in. Something is bubbling just below the surface, and thankfully you are not surprised. You were able to warn the party, Megamind. You see a large pincers reaching out of the water and trying to grab both of you. Megamind is seeing there's a large pincer coming out of the water trying to grab Megamind and yourself. But I'll say, Megamind, you saw it. What would you like to do first? Reaction, shatter into the water against this creature. As you cast shatter, it's going to make a save, and I would like you both to roll initiative. Nat 20 for Megamind. Well done. And Jim with a 21. Insane stuff. Oh, that's a nat 20 as well. Yikes! Oh my gosh. Kind of feel bad for what's about to happen. First, the shatter's going to go off. What's the save DC? What's the save DC, Megamind? (14) con save. The creature is going to roll. Currently adds a +3 to this. That is 11 for a 14 exactly, unfortunately. So we'll only take half. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to, like, keep it slower because I know it's always that, like, on Discord. You never want to, like, overlap people. Oh yeah. Because cutting words is that super helpful one. You know, I'd say because this is technically what's happening before initiative, because you weren't surprised, I will allow cutting words in this moment. So cutting words is going to cause this creature to fail. Go ahead. We're going to roll full damage. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, fails completely on an 8. (15) is excellent. This force damage shatters against the creature rising, immediately looking hurt. You watch as a large creature erupts from the water and is going to attack. I will say, as this creature erupts, you see very lobster-like with these strange tentacles coming out of its mouth like mandibles, 2 large thorned pincers with almost a quadrupedal stance on these other 2 legs with hind legs behind. The carapace is shimmering in this blue-purple light. That is going to bring us to Megamind. You're going to start off this initiative, and Jim behind as you both act before this creature with those nat 20s. I always forget I do my personal mute. This creature can hear. You cast. This creature has a +3 to its wisdom saves as well. It's gonna make its roll. That's a natural 1. Yikes. It's going to take 3d6 psychic, and immediately, oh gosh, you watch it goes 40 feet back under the water as it has to use its reaction to move. Yeah. I will say Wallace has some stuff that actually we can reflavor. I don't know. Wallace has more shape water and spike growth healing word stuff. Nothing like pass without a nope. Wallace does not have any electric kind of stuff. The only thing you really saw was there's like some sort of like dying light, like chandelier up above, but that looked to be like a fiery kind of ember, not electricity. Excellent turn though, Megamind, as just this thing about to come out of the water, shatter, dissonant whispers, boom, as immediately having to retreat far underneath the water. Jim Lake Jr., that is your turn, my friend. I like that. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. I am gonna cut off the lobster talk though for now. I am gonna cut off the lobster talk.
I'm the Crab King.
Neither have I. I mean, you could really tell Elle got steamed about lobsters. Anywho, Jim Lake Jr. The creature has just dove underneath the water again. So it is your turn if you want to use any bonus actions or held actions, or if there's anything else you want to try right now. Yeah, that would easily be able to, because it's not too far away. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah. Guiding Bolt, go ahead and roll to hit. Ooh, a 20. Excellent stuff. That will hit. Go ahead and roll 4d6 of radiant damage. And the large lobster creature, 19, is now glowing under the water. The next melee, just next attack that is taken against it will have advantage. Dang, that's really cool. The lobster is already looking horribly bloodied and boiled right now, as, not even joking, Dissonant Whispers Guiding Bolt is just steaming this pool of water, and the creature inside looks pissed off. It is steamed. Anyone got butter? As that happens, though... Well, that's the baking cleric domain. Create and destroy butter.
Does Becca actually create and destroy butter? I need to know.
That is going... Yeah, here we go. Jim, Guiding Bolt's going to go off. The creature now has its turn. The large lobster creature is going to rise back up out of the water. Just kind of jump out of the water, and is going to make its multi-attack. It is going to try to make a two pincer attacks, as with its claws it's going to try to grab both you, Jim, and Megamind. As this goes down, here we go. We have to roll 2 attacks. The first one's going to be Jim. The second one's going to be Megamind. Jim, that is a 15 plus 7 for a 22 to hit. And Megamind, that is a 9 plus 7 for a 16 to hit Megamind. Dang. You both are going to take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as pincers grab onto you. You are both grappled as this happens. Carrying grappled creature took a move. The creature grabs onto you, and you realize just as it starts slowly bringing you closer to its maw as these tentacle mandibles kind of snake out, and you watch as they're getting ready to try to whip out and possibly sting you. The lobster takes his turn. That will make Wallace's turn. Wallace is actually going to try and get you guys out of the grapple, just to like keep you from getting attacked again by the creature. So Wallace is going to have to make a strength check. This is athletics. Is going to roll. That's an 18. Oh, but can only grab 1. Excuse me. Wallace is going to choose... probably going to grab Jim, just because Jim's got the bigger sword on your back. Right? It's not like, okay, Jim's a fighter. So, Wallace rips you out of the pincers. Where then Megamind, that will begin the initiative on your turn. You're good. We're about to take a quick 5-minute break here, too, probably after this. Excellent. You go for Dissonant Whispers, which only requires verbal. Super smart with the pincers. It's going to roll. Adds +3 to this. So that is a 14 plus 3 for a 17, which will be currently a success. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so it will just deal half damage on this one. Yeah, Dissonant Whispers, it's just, if it's a successful take, it takes half damage and doesn't have to move. Which actually might help, because Megamind, if it had worked... if it had worked, it might have dropped you, depending on what it could do. Would you like to take any other bonus actions, though, before your turn is over? Awesome. Jim, you've got that Bardic Inspiration, which makes your turn, Jim, as you kind of clank land back with your armor onto the stone here. Only about like 10 feet away. If you kind of just duck under the claw, you'd be right there. You summon daylight and just up into the head. Excellent. Go ahead, make this attack. You have advantage on it because Guiding Bolt went off. Ooh, thank goodness for that advantage. Oh, that only a 10. Would you like to use the Bardic for this? Good. A 13 barely hits the armor class. Go ahead and roll damage as you stab up and in, just summoning daylight through the creature's head. Oh, heck yeah. Go for the smite. So that's already 9 points of slashing damage just kind of appearing through the lobster's head. Yeah. I think it's more just because smite's so variable, it just made that, like, user interface of, like, it's d8s. For you skewer up Jim. The lobster rears back in head in anger. It looks horribly bloodied. Is not in a good place. The creature, yes. Yeah, I mean, it is a large creature, so it's kind of hard to leave its opportunity attack range. But yeah, you can, like, not be right up next to the head part. It's that very, you tuck and roll underneath, summon daylight up, and then, like, finishing movement, just kind of finish and roll underneath the other claw. So just that, like, roll across. As the large blue lobster is going to take its turn, I need Megamind. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw as the tentacles are trying to stab into your neck? Constitution saving throw. A 14 hits the DC 14 exactly. You are not paralyzed as feeling that kind of like venom course into you. You fight it off and are not completely entrenched in the claws here. The creature is then going to make an attack against Jim. You just stabbed it, so it's going to try to claw you. And Megamind, it's going to try to grapple attack you again. It does have disadvantage because it doesn't have grapple feet. You know, it's just going to try to, like, smush you with its claws. So Jim then is going to be... let me find... There we go. Dice. Plus 7. That is a 7 plus 7 for a 14 Jim, which is not going to hit that big old plate armor you got on there. Right. Thank you so much for reminding me. I have to get your armor up. You have currently the benefits of plate armor right now. Daylight, the Amulet of Merlin gives you full plate for free. It's just always on is the thing. I have to check that. Okay, so here we go. We are rolling for Megamind. This is at disadvantage. Lower of the 2 is a nat 1. That misses. It tries to squeeze you, and Megamind, it kind of just succeeds in, like, cracking your spine a little bit as it straightens you up. As I'm like, ooh, all right, I feel a little bit taller right now. Wallace is then going to take their turn and drag you out of the grapple there, Megamind. But that is only a 7. Wallace tries to break the pincer and can't seem to get the strength to break it open. So Megamind, you will still be in the pince. Brings us back to the top of the order with Megamind. Ooh, smart option. I like it. You cast Thunderwave. It's gonna be a Constitution save. Yes, thank you. Here we go. Quickly checking. Yeah, because Thunderwave will break the grapple. It literally says that under grapple. Grody. Here we go. The creature is making its Constitution saving throw. That is a 14. It adds 3, which will make it a 17. That will half damage and unfortunately not break the grapple. Ooh. 2 points. It's still looking bloodied. Still, unfortunately, very up. Jim, that is your turn there. Gotcha. Doing it underneath, right up to the water's edge. Go in. Go ahead and roll to attack. 25 is indeed a good hit. $11 points of damage. You slice in at this giant lobster, which now looks to be on death's door. It is so close. You cut in and watch as that soft underbelly of a crab kind of cracks and breaks. And you feel it so close, but right before you stab on through, the crab kind of gets ready to drop down, and you flip back again, boom, as it slams into those stone water, trying to crush you. The lobster's taking its turn. Once again, pincers on Jim and Megamind with disadvantage. So, Jim, here we go. It's rolling. That's 3 plus 7. That's a full miss on a 10. That is going to be Megamind with disadvantage. 2 18s for a total of 25 to hit you. That is truly grody even with disadvantage. Megamind. And as this happens, Megamind, I need you to make another Constitution saving throw since you're still in the grapple. You succeed against paralysis. The creature is going to roll. This is 2d6 plus 4. Megamind, you might go down. That is a 6 plus 4 for 10. Just over. Megamind, you are unconscious. Oh no, here we go. Wallace is making that last check, just desperately trying to pull off. 18. Megamind, you go unconscious, and as the creature starts pulling your body towards this mandible tentacles, Wallace leaps up, grabs your feet, and just slides you out of the pincer grasp and away from the combat. It's all Wallace can do for now. Megamind, at the start of your turn, can you make a private roll just to me for your death saving throw? Just a d20. Wow, you rolled and it somehow was 2 nat 1s automatically. Wild. No. Yes, private roll. And just text me the results. Just roll. Oh, wow, a 20. Wow, perfect. Oh, no. As Megamind makes that, Jim Lake Jr., that is your turn. Once for all. Running back in as both pincers are free, slashing down. Go ahead, roll to hit the lobster. An 8. Ugh. You hate to see it. You slash in and feel daylight crack against the hard carapace of the claws as you realize, as pushing you back just before you get hit. Lay on hands is an action, unfortunately. Yep. No worries. The creature's going to take its turn. It's going to attack you and Wallace. Jim, first attack coming at you is a nat 13 for a total of 20, which will hit. Wallace is going to take, Wallace is going to get hit 17 plus 7. Yeah, 24. Both you and Wallace are grappled by the pincers, and each of you take, very low this time, only 7 points of damage to you both. As that happens, finishing the creature's turn, Wallace has a spell or two. They could try to get everyone out or to break the grapple. Actually, no, Wallace is going to do a smart thing and is going to cast Healing Word at a second level to hit Jim and Megamind. So that is going to be a D4 plus a spellcasting. That's a 4, so that's max. Jim and Megamind, you are both going to get back 9 points of health. Wallace finishes turn. Megamind, you are up, and it is your turn, as you are not grappled, but both of your party members are stuck in the lobster's claws. It looks on death's door. Another shatter. Ooh, clever. Kind of in the area as Jim has already slashed in that soft underbelly. Here it comes. It's got a +3. It's going to roll. So that is a 16 plus 3. Will make a total of 19 to save. So we'll only take half damage from shatter. $17 halves to 8 damage. No, round up. 9 points of damage. You always round up. Oh. It is death's door. A strong wind could blow this over. It's so close. Megamind, you boom shatter and reveal just that boom, 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 gross little heartbeat coming from this lobster. Jim Lake Jr., that is your turn as you are in the pincers of the lobster. Wallace pulled you out, but it just when Megamind went down, the creature took the opportunity to grab you and Wallace to keep you away. About. The only problem is it's just got that squeeze on you right now with the pincer. It's like that half pin where, as grapple works, you could still make an attack. It's just disadvantaged because of how it's working. Not even your sword, just slap it. Disadvantage, but you can slap it. Why not make it a slap? I mean, yep, an unarmed strike. Go ahead, roll the hit with disadvantage. First is a 17. And a 16. You still hit! Jim, how do you want to do this? The slap of all slaps upside the weird little eye stalk coming down, looking at its what it thought was going to be its lunch. Nah, we're eating you tonight. Boom! You hit the eye stalk and you hear that crack as the eye stalk spins in its head. The creature roars in pain, dropping you and Wallace as Jim, Wallace, Megamind, all of you grab the sharpest implement, stab into the belly as screaming falls back into the water and rises no more. And that's where we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all in just a few moments. Welcome back, one and all. We apologize that the first half of this session was very me-heavy and probably didn't make sense a lot of the time. I hope you understood enough of it. But...
You are the star of the show, though, August, so...
Not at all. It's really you guys. You are the adventuring party. This is your time. As Jim, Megamind, and Wallace, you slap the lobster, stab it in the soft underbelly. It is dead. All of you watch its body fade down into the watery depths. And across the room from you, you look up and see, kind of blinking into existence, maybe it wasn't there before, a door. Not the...
I wanted to try and, grab some of that food.
Grab some of the lobster. Yeah, just carve it up a little bit, for sure.
Have some dinner later.
Hey, yeah, seafood is seafood, am I right? That will actually, I will cut us back then to Puss in Boots and RJ. Perfectly timed too, as this is all happening, Puss, you have that revelation on a natural 20 that something's wrong. Like, yeah, you kind of figure out the thing, but again, all of these traps feel placed, all the puzzles feel here. You don't even know if you guys have truly seen the backside of this tower. As what I would ask is, Poos, how do you want to relay this information or talk about this?
So, my friend, my snack-loving friend, and my silent friend.
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear Al?
We can.
Can you guys hear me?
But we can't hear you guys, RJ and.
Oh.
So I can hear everybody, but I guess some people can't hear some people.
Okay.
So
We
I
will
guess
go
everybody.
back.
Yeah.
Quick leave return.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Shane is Megamind. Excellent.
Cool. And I can hear everybody.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can hear you. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Excellent. We can hear everyone. Because that's sometimes what Discord is, just drop in and out. Or drop out, drop back in.
Yeah.
I
would
also want to let you guys
ask
know.
about Existential crisis.
Mental crisis. Side note, in the game world, my cat shut down the computer by sitting on it with her chunky butt. Like, somehow hit the shutdown button. It was kind of hilarious. Anyhow, sorry. Back to the game. So, Puss in Boots is kind of talking to Gromit and RJ, like, so, if our blue friend walked around but there was no steps, and all this elaborate schemes just to keep people out, what if we just barrel through?
I'm down.
Like, have you ever set off explosives? Either of you?
No.
Yeah.
Gromit looks confused.
Because we haven't seen the backside of the building, therefore that's where he hit, like, or wherever this wizard is. So we just get there by brute force by something they wouldn't expect.
Okay.
Eh?
I mean, so DM, can we climb the walls at all? We both have climb speeds.
Yeah, you guys could climb the walls. Gromit can't, but he'll just watch you guys to see kind of what happens.
Okay, can I try to mold earth on the ceiling to open it up?
Yes, you can. You mold earth, it opens up.
Should we just go up? It's the tower.
Sounds like a plan. Also, how did you do that?
I have some tricks.
You scare me.
Funnily enough, they are not just for kids.
Dang it, Braxton.
I
Pull
like
yourself
to-
out of your character.
I like to assume that his bag is just full of junk food. Like, any food he puts in there becomes, like, name brand junk food.
The magic of your pack.
It's not a bag of holding, it's a bag of make junk food.
Anyway,
It's
so
every fantasy stoner's dream.
mold earth to open an opening and then, like, rope down so Wallace or Gromit or the dog can get up. And then, like, mold earth to make sure it stays open.
You mold earth, you guys grab Gromit as you all pop back up. Having done mold earth, all of you find yourselves seemingly back in the library where you first entered.
Nice.
Oh,
Let's just start stealing books.
no, hear me out. If he is, or I don't know why I keep using Jenna. We have no idea who this person is. If this person has planned for magical means, and you see he kind of like takes out a tiny little knife with a cat on the tip, it's like maybe he is not prepared for. They are not prepared for physical means. And he kind of just starts. Basically, what he's going to try and do is using the dagger, try and break at some of the molding on a brick to see if he can alter the room in any way.
Don't eat that.
To then get through that, to then see if,
Go ahead, make
like
me just
physically
a
go
quick
through a wall.
insight check, Puss in Boots, as you accomplish this.
Will do. If I can pull up my stuff in time, I have to re-sign in. So that's. Hold on. Also, yep, I have a guest.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
For those on the recording, a physical cat is just right behind Elle. It's a very well detailed prop, actually.
She's just sitting there, menacingly.
Alrighty. Yeah, Puss, as you make that check, because you're gonna start
I'll
chiseling
get it in a
away.
second.
You're good. Jim and Megamind, you guys loot the corpse of this lobster, get a bunch of fresh food, and would you guys like to go into the new door that has opened?
I think I want to ask if people need healing first, because I can do a little bit. Megamind, where are you at hit point wise?
9.
You're at 9. I can give up to 15 points. Would you like 7 of those points?
Okay, so I've gotten to my sheet and I'm rolling, but now it's taking forever to roll. So
Taking forever. Yeah, because if you get 9, because Wallace has healing word as well, that they could do another quick cast on you and Megamind as well, Jim.
Okay.
All right.
I'm okay
And
with
then
doing lay on
who
hands.
else has hit points needed?
Wallace only got hit once, and Jim, you're still above half right now, thanks to some previous
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm okay for now.
So I'll save my
Yeah,
last
but-
2 spells just in case.
So yeah, Megamind and Jim, Wallace is going to heal you each for 8 hit points.
Yay!
And Puss in Boots, as you scratch at the stone, this is the best plan. You have got this. No wizard's going to think, why would I just not chisel through the stone? RJ, Gromit looks at you and kind of gets that, like, very, like, concerned look for Puss in Boots. As Puss in Boots, he has not planned for non-magical means, and just starts, like, hacking at the stone and is making not even a dent after a few minutes.
Cool. I'll let him go for just a minute or two. Like, it's just long enough to start to wonder if this plan will work at all.
Yeah.
And then I'll cast Molder.
You cast Mold Earth. You cast Mold Earth kind of on the side here. The outside does open to you.
After you, legendary hero.
This is just sitting there, like very like paused like this in front of his mouth, and he's just gonna sit there. He's not gonna.
Just the sad cat just staring at a now blank wall. The wall is already starting to close, Puss.
I'll go through the wall.
The three of you exit outside of the wall. It is still this nighttime here. Nothing really seems to have changed. Like the orc encampment's still a little ways off. As you guys exit the tower, Jim and Megamind Wallace, you guys have just healed up. What's kind of your thought process right now?
The door to go through, yeah?
We have a door, and there was a ton of water down there, so maybe there's a way down there too. Just
Well,
a
maybe.
thought. But
I'd rather not swim in full armor if it can be avoided.
I'd rather not swim in leather.
Alright, stairs it is.
Stairs it is.
Maybe.
Upstairs? I thought we were going through the door.
It's
Yeah.
a door which, when open, is going to lead to more stairs.
Ah.
As you head down, you find yourselves in a new room. The room seems full of strange metal mechanical objects, as very similar to like telescopes, periscopes, kaleidoscopes, different things with glass lenses, metal moving parts that can kind of twist and turn and shape. The room is lit with about 4 torches as you enter in, and not one of these objects seems similar to another. They're all very unique in their approach.
It seems like a clue as to the personality of the wizard. Could I make some kind of check to see if I've heard of this person?
Yeah, I'll say you can either make me a history check, see maybe what you've heard of, or an insight check if you want to go more into like the wizard's character.
Okay. Rex, don't bite my toes. I love you. Stop. That hurts. Okay, we're gonna do history. Just to see if this is one that I would have any kind of knowledge or experience with.
That is a 9. Jim, thinking through, you've heard of wizards before. You've encountered one that was truly insane, who threatened to eat your best friend, who did a lot of stuff to you. And this feels very similar to what that wizard would do, but it's not the same. You're like, no, this is something entirely different. On that history check, you don't think you've heard, though, then of who this could be. It's one of those, like, this seems new enough that, like, every level has something to it. What's going on? I'd say on that kind of check.
Thank you.
Puss in Boots and RJ coming back to see you guys outside. Now that you guys are back outside with Gromit, what would you like to do or check out?
I'm going to pull out a bag of popcorn from my bag and just eat and watch whatever Puss does.
Alright, so it's the physical way, but in the library it sent us to the outside. If we go back in and we do whatever you did, the whole through the wall, we get to the back side of the tower. Okay?
Okay, so you want to go through the tower?
Yeah. You
Straight
get to the
line.
back side.
Okay. Mold Earth to get back in.
No, we can just walk through the door.
Trip.
Oh, that's handy.
There is no door.
Oh yeah, no, there was no door.
Yes, the door is made...
This is Eleanor blinking, sorry, because I just had to go autopilot driving.
Oh yeah, no, I feel
Good.
You guys, RJ, Mold Earth, all 3 of the animals walk through back into the library. RJ, Mold Earth, you open, walk out.
I steal a book as we go through.
Steal a book. You walk back, and you walk right back to where you first exited. You see the footprints where you just exited. Or entered.
Okay. All right.
We could just join
Oh,
our
do
friends
you have any
down
ideas?
there.
I would good promise.
Oh.
Gromit is like down in the snow and is starting to like sketch out a little schematic with his paw.
What is that you are drawing?
Gromit looks up and just kind of points down. Gromit has built a very, very large catapult in the snow out of like drawing, and it like pantomimes something going up and over a tower.
Yes, exactly. And I kind of let me look through the stuff I have. But that's basically now the new plan. Because Puss is getting a little bit. I wouldn't say embarrassed is the right word, but he's like, hey, no, I need to make a plan and I need it to work because that's how this works. That's how it's always worked. Spells. I have a snaring strike. Ooh, hear me out. Is there a way I could use ensnaring strike to kind of use? No, but we are in a barren wasteland.
Yep.
There are no plants.
A frozen wasteland.
Doc, do you have any materials for this pet?
Shakes his head.
Let's look. I have this is an Eleanor question. Have we asked it nicely yet?
No.
Okay. Who's just going to go to the tower? Say, hello. We were told you could tell us what's going on with the moon and with the shadow people. Could we come in, please? Can I roll something more like a persuasion?
Make a persuasion check. You're asking very nicely.
Okay, hold on.
As you do that, we'll cut to Jim.
Zero.
Yeah, it's gonna take a second to roll.
Yeah, Jim and Megamind Wallace, you guys are in the room with all these metal baubles and instruments. What would you guys like to do while you're in here?
Experiment.
X, be careful.
Wasn't meaning
And
to.
that is a 23.
23
18
for
plus
Puss
5.
in Boots. We'll say, Megamind, go ahead and start experimenting. Give me an investigation check. I think that's a pretty good experiment check, like figuring out stuff.
The boy.
That's a nat one.
Whew. Megamind, you hold one of the kaleidoscopes up to your eye and get the worst nausea ever, as suddenly yellow and purple and orange just streak into your eyeball, looking at kind of the wall and just like just feel the like horrible off balance.
Go over and throw up in the corner.
Like from Gravity Falls. Oh, my eyes!
Literally, just that. Puss in Boots, RJ, outside the tower. Puss, you very nicely, please.
Like his head is kind of slightly banging against the wall.
Please. RJ, you will be the first to notice because your head is not banging against the wall right now. But you look, Gromit is missing.
Oh.
Gromit's the wizard.
No, that'd be wild. That'd be wild.
Look around real quick.
Gromit has a set of tracks leading around the left side of the tower.
I will follow said tracks.
Wait, where are you going?
Yeah,
I follow.
Look up. Suddenly everyone's gone. Wait. As you guys walk around the left side of the tower, you eventually will realize you are seeing new information, so to speak, as the ice that is jutting upward, kind of placing itself against the tower, the barren landscape, is now starting to slowly change. New ice structure, new rock seems to kind of jut out. And after a moment, you see a small, simple cottage with a chimney with something puffing out smoke behind this grand, impressive tower.
I will go up and just knock on the cottage door.
Knock, knock, knock,
I
knock,
wipe
knock.
off any grime on me.
You wipe off the grime. After a moment or two, the cottage door swings open on a rusty hinge, and you enter in. The room you see is filled with a light purplish haze of something burning in a corner. Books and tomes sit on small, low-lying shelves around the room, as in the center you see a rather impressive fireplace with a pot that is bubbling with some liquid, chunks of things brimming and bubbling. Around this pot, about 10 feet back, are a variety of soft, velvety, cushiony seats, ranging from chairs to couches to bean bags. Around farther, you see a variety of tasks are being performed by things that are unseen. Something is washing dishes in one corner, while something is writing in a tome and flipping through pages. Another unseen servant seems to be stringing up dried herbs in a window. And as you all enter in, you hear a voice behind you say, oh, you're a bunch of interesting looking creatures.
I cast Fireball.
Counterspelled.
I don't have Fireball.
Thank you for letting us say hello.
You see a man that is actually no taller than Gromit. Very small, hunched over. Very wide, flat, balding head with hair kind of wisping down the sides. Cloaked in this texture, black, almost like feathery kind of coat. Drooping jowls over to the side with a nose that hangs down. Yes, well, it's not too often I have visitors, let alone animals that ask nicely to visit my abode. Come in. And he kind of like, since he's behind you somehow, pushes you all deeper into the cottage. Well, let me ask you, what are your names?
I am Bruce, in gestures to his feet, boots.
Well,
This is Grom.
Okay. In no boots.
This is Gromit, he does not talk.
so we have Gromit who does not talk, Puss in Boots, and RJ who does talk but does not wear boots.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, you fine animals, what may I do for you?
Well, and this is where I'm kind of dropping accent and kind of role-playing-y kind of, it sounds like, you know, montage, you know, like explaining how we came down here, that Gromit said there might be someone down here we could talk to, that, you know, the man in the moon is dead, and we need to try and find a way to fix the world or save, I don't know what it's, sorry, that's Eleanor and the concussion talking, sorry, but basically along those lines, and if you had any advice of how to, you know, prepare ourselves, as the angel said, and is that not why we're down here? I did that right?
Yeah, no, it's exactly like we came seeking help. Gromit. You see the man kind of like raises an eyebrow. Ah, yes. Now, I think I do remember this, Gromit. Fine dog, helped me out when I was traveling through the London Isles. It's clever beast. But if I remember, he was not alone. He had some companion with him.
We have party splits. Try and get in touch with you. The other half might still be in your wonderful maze of never-ending puzzles.
We kind of
So I
assumed
assume.
that the tower was abandoned, so we just kind of went in.
Oh, yes, of course. That's how I try to get you. Everyone thinks the wizard lives in the tower, not in the cottage behind the back. Well,
Quite smart.
let me find your friends. I mean, they'll probably kill themselves before getting out of there. 2,000 different floors. Designed it myself. Monsters refresh, puzzles reset. After about the 2,000th, they kind of switch around a little. Oh, you see he walks over to what looks to be like just kind of a simple broom closet and starts like rapping his like old kind of bulbous knuckles against the door. As he knocks, you feel something kind of shift with each knock until finally, doom. Jim, Megamind, and Wallace, as you guys have now spent hours, it feels like, pouring over these little instruments, looking in them, looking around, trying to combine them. A door opens up behind you, like the one you just came from, and you see the interior of this cottage. The small wizened old man with your animal compatriots by the side.
Kind of wave, and Puss goes, I asked nicely.
Come in.
Oh, thank you. Is this the wizard?
I think so.
Yes.
Does he have a wizard hat on?
He does not have a wizard hat on.
He doesn't have a wizard hat, though, so maybe not.
Well, maybe he's off hours. He's off the clock.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
As the small old man kind of helps you guys in, Jim, Wallace, and Megamind, all of you feel just that like change of like, oh, this is a warm kind of like homely cottage we're in now. He directs you all to these big old cushions that you can each take seats in however you choose. He turns to you. Yes, well, it is a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Burnish, and unlike what I have been called, I am not a wizard, merely a collector of fine magical objects and things. You see, he kind of like opens his robe a little bit. You see lined with magical rings, baubles, necklaces, pendants. Yes, I more find magic, utilize it. Was never really good at it, but I enjoy it.
Can I immediately make an insight check? Because he's a collector of magical items.
Make an insight check, but Puss, this is a wildly different vibe than what you've seen before.
Okay. Yeah, it's the whole like, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know when a cat's body language shifts and like one ear goes back and it's just.
Gotcha. But you see Burnish kind of looks at you all. He gestures with a hand, and you see a couple unseen servants start bringing over bowls, and the liquid in the center of this kind of middle pot fire pit area starts being ladled, and a thick stew comes out. Well, let me ask you all, you came seeking answers about the state of the world, is that correct? Well,
Yes.
the moon turned red, danger abounds, and I'm running out of money. That's about
Oh,
it.
that's why I was going to say the orcs are hounding you for money, but they're around the back, I guess.
Yes, I think I hid coins somewhere in the tower. I'll have to find it before they get antsy and anxious.
They said they're coming at dawn, so...
Oh, good. So
before they die.
They'll try to break into the tower like they did before when they came years ago. They'll try to traverse it, and I'll let them tire themselves out.
Okay. Just maybe don't let them all die.
Oh, hey, listen, I can't be held responsible for what's in that tower if you break into it. It's like, listen, man, I don't know.
Oh, for context, he lives in the cottage in the back, and like a person like explains like we're not in the tower anymore to those who.
Oh.
Can I see if there's any, like, I'm not sure if I should steal from this old man,
That would be a
but
bad
I'm
idea.
really tempted.
You're
Don't have any trinkets you don't want.
Can I just try to sneakily steal any food?
Yeah, I think food is a solid option.
I mean, he did serve us food.
Yeah, like invisible servants are starting to give you guys small little bowls of the stew.
Not touching the stew.
Not touching it. Okay.
I'm eating it.
As Burnish kind of looks at you all, well, I'm no wizard, unfortunately, but I'm no ignoramus. I do understand much about what is happening. Many years ago, I came upon an old tome, a book of apocalyptian text, as some might call it. RJ, on that 13, you just start grabbing more and more dinner rolls and just placing them into your pack. Burnish kind of looks at you all. The text had many different versions of how our world would end, based on different churches, gods, prophecies of artifacts that could be found or destroyed. But there was one that always came close to each of these, that 4 beings would decide that the world needed to be changed. That's the word. I had a compatriot that translated it for me, but changed was the word that they used. Now, I took this, of course, to mean destruction, but some might take it as creation. What I believe we're seeing, though, is a first sign. Now, come here. He kind of, like, reaches into a pocket, kind of pulls out a quick ring, and you see a invisible servant kind of stops, whisks back over. Can you find me? I had a book on omens. If you could find that for me. And you see the invisible servant whisks away, and in a few moments brings back a beautiful black leather bound, scripted in silver book. Yes. Whips through the pages. Here we go. Many believe that heavenly signs, astrological visions, are the beginnings of an apocalypse. But there are those that disagree. Ancient scholars coming from the Egyptian provinces claim that a astrological sign and proportion is merely a harbinger, something to herald in the coming storm. If you were to ask my academic opinion, I would say that the moon that we have just seen, and as you have said, though dangerous and terrifying, is but merely a terrifying calling card for what's to come. I mean, as far as I can understand, the tides still come in and out. Werewolves still grow and deform with their lycanthropy, and most other beings aren't affected by the moon, even those that have magical auras with it. Merely that a red moon, and what you say, seeing these visions and going around, that it's like someone has raised the biggest red flag in the sky, and that other beings are acting accordingly.
Interesting. So you say this book has all of the prophecies and like find crazy artifacts here and there and the other.
Well, there's many here, and this isn't the only book. This is merely one that more deals with precursory omens. If you're speaking in artifacts, and you see at this point he hands the book off to Invisible Servant, and he kind of pulls a side table, a small scroll that he kind of unfurls. Artifacts exist in this plane as well as any other planes. There are some that are sequestered into hidden knowledge. Some speak of, great elemental staffs of power that will open up the planes of existence. There are some that speak of jewels and amulets with powers beyond mortal comprehension. Oh, here we are. there is many in many mythos and legend claim that there are swords, weapons to be held by beings of power that can usher in great and dark magics and powers. Jim, as he says that, you immediately hear that Morgana's friend. There is a person carrying a hilt in these woods that I seek, the hilt of a sword. And you kind of like echo that in your mind as Burnish just, is there any specific artifacts you want? Something to look forward? There are some that claim to prevent apocalypse, if that makes sense.
What are a few of those?
Prevent. Yeah.
That sounds all right to me.
Would one of them happen to be a sword hilt?
The sword hilt? Yeah, well, he's going to make actually a check to kind of quickly flip through the book, because swords are one thing, but just the hilt is another. That is only a 3, even with his better bonuses. No hilts. Most of the times they say swords are complete. Doesn't make sense to have something broken. Can't do much, can it?
Of course.
What would be the ones that would prevent apocalypse?
Oh, there's many. Well, here, right here. This is something I've heard of myself. Legend tells that long ago, ancient gods in the Mediterranean area worked with the people directly, and these gods gave up their powers and forms to create a singular book. This tome was said to hold great power in terms of keeping peace and order, and so it became commonly known as the Book of Peace. Last, many say, is a kingdom of Syracuse had the Book of Peace and kept it in tight security, of course. Now, I must say, the Book of Peace, this seems rather apocryphal, what I'm reading. Most of these things could be artifacts, but there is a very good chance this is just a really nice book that people give their importance to. I couldn't be sure if the Kingdom of Syracuse, if they had such thing as a Book of Peace, if it ever existed, and if it does, and even if it is some artifact to save the world, I doubt very much they would let people have it.
So are there ones that are
Less protected.
definite?
Ones that are lost or hidden
Ooh.
that could be searched for,
Lost, hidden,
found, and then used to protect, instead of ones that
I
are
mean,
heavily guarded.
maybe even myths and legends, because I
Mhm.
recently just dealt with the wishing star myself.
A wishing star. Oh, those are common. Yes, wishing stars. Powerful wish magic of a true wizard, unlike myself, who didn't know what to wish for and therefore cast a wish away. And stupid, really. I mean, if you've got the power, use it. Do something with it.
How would you stop someone who used a wishing star to be the master of all magic?
Ah. Well, you tricksy little cat. Do you know why my magic has been failing?
Well, and you see he just immediately gets he kind of pulls at a collar that doesn't exist, and he's like, well, so, I was once in possession of a map to a wishing star, and I don't know if you happen to know of Jack Horner?
Nope. No.
Okay. Honestly, he's not even that memorable of a fairy tale. He's a children's rhyme, you know. Jack Horner stuck his thumb in a pie, and he said it was, what a little good boy am I, whatever. He kind of turned crazy a little bit. He collecting magic, and then when he found out about this map to a wishing star, and his whole goal was to be the master of all magic, and I could not stop him.
Ah, well, no worries. I mean, it sounds like a truly awful person to have to deal with. But
Yeah, no,
yes,
he tried to shoot the puppy
Oh, yes.
in the head
Well, that's
with the
bad.
unicorn horn.
Yeah, that's evil. That's evil.
Baby unicorn horn. Like one claw.
Right, now that's just like overkill. Like, you could get
Oh,
away with one
yeah.
unicorn horn and a dog.
He
Wow,
said it,
but-
quote, they're sharper and half the weight, unquote.
Yeah, well, I've never seen a unicorn, but I wish I could see a unicorn. That'd be cool. Anyway, well, this makes sense. I used to have more servants here. In fact, I worry I had greater protections on my cottage. Merely what you have is some quick modified memory spell scrolls that I was able to procure to keep people from understanding they were walking in a circle, and I grow worried. The orcs, I doubt, could ever find my cottage by the morrow, but eventually other people might be able to find me because something is taking magic, slowly but surely.
It is my mission to try to stop him.
So, correct. But yes, any artifacts that could help in, I guess, producing a really powerful hero to stop villains, or ones that would help in stopping, I guess, bad guys from murdering the moon, or I guess bad guys from stealing all the magic. Just things that aren't heavily protected, lost, could be found by a group of 5.
I am sorry about your magic, by the way.
People.
I'm going to make a pure luck check. Here we go. That's a natural one.
Can I get the help action?
Why?
I will say, does anyone have a point
Emotional
of
support animal?
inspiration?
Not on this character. I have a lot on other characters I've never used.
Did any of
Can I cash all those in?
Nope.
Did any of us get inspiration? Did Lincoln have inspiration?
Did not. I just checked.
No, I thought he did. Did he?
Nope.
Like a point of inspiration? I don't think we've gotten any of those.
Yet to get one. I mean, to be fair, we're still pretty fresh in the campaign.
I mean, I did think of asking nicely. Can I have a point of inspiration and then subsequently spend it?
That was.
Oh wait, no. Izzy has the luck feat.
Izzy does have the luck feat.
Wallace
I will allow a luck.
I feel like Izzy would use all of them.
Oh, and you know.
For sure, we will. That's a nat 4, so we'll do it one more time.
Again.
That's a 12. Yes or no? One more time.
I think since we'd probably long rest after this one would get him back anyway.
It's a 9, so the heist is a 12.
Alright.
You see, Burnish kind of looks at you all, says, well, lost items? Let's see here. Kind of flipping through pages, going through the scroll, kind of going through. Well, there are weapons of power that are spoken of, many that are hidden or lost, a variety
I like that.
of...
Ultimate weapon.
Ultimate weapon? Alright, listen, let's see. You've got the cards, you got whips, ooze, a bow, potions. Now, I'm not seeing any one weapon. Again, it's some of these speak of a group of weapons. It says there's 11, 12, just scattered across the world, once held by a group of warriors.
Oh, that sounds promising.
Promising. There's a tier.
I can't metagame. I can't metagame.
There's a tier, like a stone sapphire tier, once said to be the tier of a god that can shape elements, but that one's truly lost. This one's spoken of. It's ancient Egyptian, closer to Mesopotamian, if I'm honest. Now let's see here. We've got interesting. There are some specific creatures said to be able to prevent an apocalypse. You've got that is an interesting one. Trowels, kind of like a trowel, a digging trowel.
Interesting.
That one, as the legend goes, it was once used by a very famous gardener, and it had property of a wish spell. But that one is more of speculation. I couldn't promise you that a hidden wishing trowel existed somewhere in the world.
Okay.
Maybe this is what
that's a solid start of things. Like maybe if we got detail on, I guess the tier was in Egypt. The group of weapons, if we had kind of the tale of that, the one mystical creature that you were talking about, and then the story of the trowel, we had kind of general directions to go to find more information on these, then
Yes,
I think.
here's kind of what I've got here, and this is kind of that 12 information, very metagamey. The weapons are very broad. It's one of those, if you go to any major city and spend a couple days asking around, you'd probably find some leads. Apparently these weapons are kind of known everywhere. There is, in talking about the trowel, what you'd see, he would say is, legend has the trowel was last seen far off in the newer continents, somewhere high in the northern new continents, towards the great mountains of ice in that realm on the western hemisphere. Simply that the last owner, this, what would you call him? A person traveled through, brought it along with across the great waters, as the legend goes, but what we have started hearing is there is continents and peoples over there. And so, yeah, because, like, Jim, for you, it's like, oh, yeah, the Americas, same with Megamind, but this dude is very old world mage.
So America's northern, highest northern area.
Highest northern area. And you see, yeah, the tier last seen in, like, kind of Egypt, Mesopotamia area, somewhere down there. The beast or being, something that is sealed away. Like, you know, he says, legend goes that great powers kept this being sealed up to prevent its true powerful nature from being corrupted by the world. Something where if you were to find the lock and the key, it could be loosed upon the world. This creature being of both radiance and necrosis. Well, most of this says that you would simply have to seek out something. Well, no, that's not right. You see, he kind of looks confused for a moment. Says, "No, I must say, I'm not an old man. I'm not forgetting, but this book was changed. I distinctly remember reading this years ago. You see, right here, and he kind of shows you, as you see this beast of prophecy, as it is known. The paragraph ends, all of you can read in this kind of older font of common, that it says, the beast of prophecy will be revealed when the time is right. And you see, it kind of points that time is right reveal line, goes, I apologize, I cannot remember what it said, but that was not there before. It was something different. There was a place that you could go to look for signs of this creature. It must have been like some stones, or rather a holy site, something, but a way that you could find a place. And this is where he's going to make one history check. There's no more luck points. See what he can get you. It's a nat 4. You see Burnish goes, I apologize. If you could find an unchanged version of this tome in another wizard's library or old...
What's the name of the tome?
It has no name. It is simply the books written by ancient monks of powerful artifacts and what to avoid.
So throw, as you know, like this.
Books written by ancient.
Again, that straw has the
About
potential for
artifacts and what to avoid.
That's what I would need to stop Jack Horner. Is to straight up use my wish to make his solution valid.
If you found the
You
trowel,
can do that, right?
I mean, yes, trowels, you can wish on a wish. That's usually how it says to have worked, but you have to find the trowel.
It would make sense because you also said that, like, people of prophecy and people talking about the omens, or the omen that talked about the prophecy of the moon or whatever was from that area, and then there was that other thing that was in Mesopotamia that you were telling us about.
Yes.
It wasn't the prophecy, but the other thing. Not the trowel, not the...
Oh, the tear. The sapphire tears.
Yeah. So the tear, the trowel... Wait, the trowel is elsewhere. The tear is in Egypt. Right.
I would assume you would start there. It's an older text. Now, I will say, this has been going on through the night. Like, you guys have been eating, looking at books. Like, Burnish has been talking to you guys about these. As he kind of just says, yes, the group, the weapons of power exist. You could, of course, look for the tear or the trowel. If you could find a copy of this beast and where it is hidden. Hold on. You see, he kind of stops and raises his head and looking towards the window. All of you hear a bit of angry shouting. Jim, you understand this in Orc as you hear, "Hold on! There's a backside! He's been hiding here the whole time!" And you watch Burnish kind of stop and go, "I believe my magic may be fading faster than I thought." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Like, you want to go hide in the tower?
Hide in the tower. Thank you all so much for playing. Thank you for listening, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Hey.